Most parents don't need a study to tell them that they lose sleep worrying about their kids when they're young, but new research shows that many older adults with grown children still feel the stress as well. Of course, I imagine that. So does worrying ever ease up for parents? Join me today to dive right into this in Real Talk. Kara Kinnear, Mandy Landefeld, and Lynn Lilly. Yes! Trifecta of fun right here, ladies. Okay, we were talking about this. We jumped ahead in the commercial break because the study shows the average parent spends 5 hours and 18 minutes a day worrying about their kids. And all of us agreed that we don't worry that much. That sounds really high.
Yeah. I'm more of a 5 hour 14. I'm giving
5 hours and 14 for sure.
18 was way too much.
Yes.
14, no.
I mean,
and you have the littlest
okay, so
baby.
she's got the schmooshy. I was reading this and I was like, am I a bad parent? Because I guess I'm so comfortable now. We have a great nanny, and like I go to work and I just don't worry at all because I know she's in good hands.
Right.
I used to worry when she was like first born, you know.
Right. Is she eating? Is she
right.
doing
Right. But now I kind of don't worry very much.
No news is good news, baby.
And I can lay in bed at night and go down a deep, deep, dark tunnel of despair about all the things that could happen to my children over the course of their lives. But what good does that do me? It doesn't do me any good. So I try to stay out of that mind space. I think maybe like too, as your children get older, and what if they are making some unfortunate decisions, and then you worry about them because you're like, you know, of course it's never their fault. You're like, who are they hanging out with? Or what, what if they make these, because you can't protect them from all those things that you hope that they will fail and come out a failure on the good side, not the bad side.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with you on that. When I think about her getting older.
I don't know, see, I just went through his whole life because I'm just,
I
get, you know, you stuck in it.
We've talked about this before, but just making sure that you have a relationship where, I mean, my kids get in the car coming back from rowing practice and they immediately call to tell me all about how their practice was, or what happened, or how hard they crushed it, or something like that.
Right,
well, but I think it's just about because they're excited to talk to you and they want to tell you about all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, you find out about the good, the bad, and then asking further questions and having those relationships where you can't just let them tell the story and then leave it alone.
Right. We need to go to her as our kids get older. Get some advice.
I don't worry about them because at this point I've set them up. They're like, I'm not worried about them getting good grades because they better be getting some good grades, and then I don't worry about, you know, whether they're being bullied because my children ain't gonna be So I mean, like, you set them up, and as you're growing, and I mean, you know,
you arm them with the tools they need, and then you're not hopefully as worried or as stressed. We decided to take this to you, a Facebook poll. Parents, does 5+ hours of worrying a day sound about right? Yes, it's a struggle, or no, can't stress too much, and right now, no is leading.
We needed a third answer, though, of heck, I don't worry that much.
That's our answer.
Yes.
Where's the third
but
option?
I'm with you. Like, I think I can be both ways. Like, we talk about, you know, I can go at night starting to go down that.
The nighttime
how
tunnel
are
is
they going
bad.
to do in school if they've got some learning issues? And but then at the end of the day, all I can do is do the very best I can to teach them, to arm them with the tools they need, and that's the best I can do. Now, this poll also said 59% of parents admit that sometimes the worry is so great it leads to a loss of sleep. Kara, I mean, I know you were kind of joking, but
no, I mean, I pretty much hit the pillow. I'm out. When people are like, I have so much running through my head, I'm like, mine's empty, literally.
No, it isn't. It's not true.
No, I mean, if I do have to make a concerted effort to not like go through like disaster case scenarios in my mind when it's still, because I can easily do that. And then I'm like, oh God, I'm never leaving the house.
And then
but
who can sleep when you're thinking of those scenarios? But the point is, don't. Yeah,
I think that's, I mean, Brenda and I have been like, oh my God, what if she does this when she's older? Or what if she gets in trouble? And then we're like, we gotta stop talking about this. You know, so again, the concerted effort to like not think too far in the future about the bad things, think about the good things. But we've made that concerted effort. But I'm with you. I am so freaking tired at the end of the day.
You're like, I just need to sleep. What about your partner, your spouse? Who worries more of the two of you?
No, I would be the one to be thinking about, you know, this scenario or that scenario as far as school goes. And Drew was having a time where before he started rowing, he needed to be working out to the point where he was too exhausted to be a schmuck, you know, so busy that he was getting his homework done. I mean, we had a time, but it wasn't so much worry as it was, I might strangle you in your sleep and still get away with it in a courtroom, you know, kind of thing. Like frustration and like driving myself. Like I would cut my toe off if that is what will take you to go ahead and get this stuff done.
Right.
And implementing those kind of skills.
Yeah.
Maybe like anything you need to do to get it done and get through to them. That kind of frustration is kind of probably what encapsulated my mind.
Sure, but not necessarily that hardcore.
No, but I remember having a time when they were tiny and you take a shower and it's that 1 minute that you have them in the, and you envision like the NCIS situation coming in, you know what I mean? That kind of, I remember that little.
Yes, in their phases for sure. Now it's a little bit better, but I agree. I think I definitely worry more than Jim. I mean, I'll say, what are we going to do? Now, Kate's having some learning, and Jim's like, and then the tests, and we got tutors, and he's like, it's okay, I turned out okay. And I was like, yes, you did. I mean, that's really the way he feels. He's like, I had tutors my whole life, I had dyslexia, and I'm okay. And I'm like, I love that attitude. Like, we're going to keep doing what we need to do. And
there's a solution for everything, and you will get there.
Okay, so on the topic of worry about, now this is kind of a funny one. Have you ever wished that you would have chosen a different name for your child? One mom shared her dilemma on social media. Get this. So she gave her daughter a name that she thought was unique, and now her daughter is 4, and she's seeing that name everywhere, so she's considering changing her daughter's name to something else.
That's so dumb. I'm sorry.
I am really impressed.
So dumb and selfish.
She needs a hobby. She needs something busy to do with her day.
Talk about giving your child identity issues.
No kidding. And the child is 4. I mean, I can understand if it's like you want to change a version of her name, or
just be like, "Hey, girl," for like a few years. See how that works. Don't call her by her name. Then still feel like it.
Remind me what the name is, because it was unusual. Esme. Thank you.
Okay, so she's used to being called Esme, and she could go to like Sarah.
Well, she was even talking about it being like universally across the U.S. just because a couple of celebrities used it.
Right.
And I'm like, because they're hanging out with, I think it was Michael J. Fox and somebody else. I mean, like she's hanging out with a posse of
This girl is living in her like little MTV celebrity world.
Her whole life. She'll always have to spell that name. I think it's, I mean, let the girl just live as is. It's crazy.
And again, the girl is too young to really be able to just like Kate. Catherine decided she didn't want to be called Kate anymore. She wanted to be called Catherine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, really?
She's Catherine now.
Yeah, that's why she's not answering your calls, Sarah.
So I want to be her
I will not talk to her, so she calls me the proper name.
So I said, well, you realize, though, Catherine is a lot longer to spell. And she's like, no, I know, but I want to be referred to as Catherine. So that's different than actually changing your child's name.
Gracie actually went through that. When she went into middle school, she decided she wanted to go and try out being called Catherine, because she's Catherine, supposed to be Catherine-Grace. Now, my husband is not the best at filling out paperwork, and when we were in the hospital, he left the hyphen out, which was a deal I made with his grandmother, who's also a hyphenated name, but who we were naming her after. And so officially, and I even had the call with him the other day because Gracie was getting her learner's permit, and I'm like, I can't even get it filled out properly because officially, her name is still not right. So I actually might be this chick who has to go change it. Because I asked Gracie, I was like, do you care? And she's like, I don't care.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, but I made a deal. You know? It's like, but she tried for a minute to go by Catherine, and I'm like, you have to stick with what everyone's been called. And really, it's easier to be what your family calls you. I tried going by Amanda when I was in high school, and it's just easier for everyone to know. Right. You know, and to this day, I have a random group of friends that still call me by Amanda, and I'm like, oh, sweet.
I know.
You know, why I know.
Well, Jim started nicknaming me Chrissy when I moved here because my mom calls me that, but nobody else really called me that. So my old Tampa friends are like, I don't like when everyone calls you Chrissy. You don't call. I mean, you haven't adopted Chrissy either.
No.
Crafty Chrissy.
Crafty Chrissy. I do.
That's the alter ego.
By the way,
her name when she's on stage with you now.
By the way, Candy, one of our loyal viewers, wrote in. It was like, Christine, you just keep up the good crafting work. So thank you.
You should have an apron that says Crafty
I made her a shirt that said Crafty Chrissy.
Scissors on it.
Yes.
Scissors. That's really cute.
That's cute.
And on that note, we're going to say goodbye to you, ladies.
I'm changing my name.